And revitalise the centre is our business correspondent Beverly Thompson.
Builders have been working overnight to put the finishing touches to the multi-million-pound investment that is central to the regeneration of Hastings. Once the site of the town's cricket ground, Priory Meadows and its Art Deco style is now the home of high street names.
For many years we've really suffered compared with other areas, but at last things do seem to be coming together properly, and I think there's a new optimism about the town, and we've already seen examples of investment elsewhere in the town centre which are a direct result of this development.
18 stalls open today, all the units are let. The official opening will be carried out by the Queen later this year.
They are about.
Okay, thanks very much. Cheers, man. Trim. Cheers. Let's got the same. might as well film the purchase if I'm going to pay the pennies, I suppose.
Ask Julie what she takes.
Well, it's happened.
Shall we go in? Go in?
Hastings' £50 million shopping centre is open for business. It's taken 20 years to turn an idea into a reality, and although many people have welcomed it, others are still implacably opposed. This report from Jonathan Mendenhall.
They had waited nearly 20 years for it. A few minutes longer wouldn't make any difference. Workmen were still putting together some finishing touches. The mayor installed a weather vane on the roof, and they were off. Hastings' multi-million-pound shopping centre threw open its doors to the public this morning, and they loved it.
It's very nice. Yeah, it's very nice. Better than we thought, actually.
I think it's brilliant. I really do. There is a tremendous economic value to this town. We've invested about 50 million shopping centres, and the retailers have come in and spent another 50 million and fitted out those shops. So that's a £100 million injection into Hastings.
Many of the country's leading retailers will trade from the centre. Those units still empty will be filled by the time the Queen performs the official opening in June.
This shopping centre is the key to the economic regeneration of Hastings, but buried underneath is a Victorian cricket ground. Many people in the town fought a long battle to save that from the bulldozers, and it's left a bitter taste.
Cricketing history was made on Priory Meadow. Many of England's finest built their reputations there.
There's deep resentment that it's gone, and every time that we walk past it, just such regret and anger that it's happened.
The wealthy family which owned the ground left it in perpetuity to the people of Hastings. The trustees wouldn't give it up without a fight. Years of negotiations and disappointment followed. After extensive advertising in the early 80s, 5 developers showed an interest. Later, a planning inquiry said surrounding roads were inadequate. Roadworks eventually started. An alternative site for a cricket pitch was found. A development company then signed a deal, but collapsed during the recession. Eventually, Boots Properties did sign up, and building work started in 1995. Some people who run businesses which skirt the shopping centre still believe they will lose out.
Those of us on the outside, the perimeter of it, we find ourselves surrounded by a lot of empty units. And we'd like the people responsible, the developers, the council, everybody to really get behind letting these units out.
But there are some who believe shopping centres are a bit outdated. But this one has given Hastings an economic heart and created a feeling of optimism, along with 800 new jobs. Those who built it want the sceptics to put the past behind them and give it a chance. Jonathan Mendenhall in Hastings for Meridian Tonight.
With me now is Roger Carrier, Chief Executive of Hastings Council and the man credited with steering this project through to completion. Mr. Carrier, you obviously must be celebrating today, but should Hastings itself be celebrating too?
The answer is yes and yes. I'm celebrating, and everyone I've spoken to today in Priory Meadow is delighted with what they see. It's beyond their expectations, and the internal mail particularly is a joy to be in. It's been a super day.
Now, indeed, the traders who are surrounding your new shopping centre, they're very concerned, though, aren't they? They're not celebrating today. They think their business is going to be decimated.
Well, that's not quite true, you know. Debenhams are so keen to be there and so happy they've invested £4 million in their shop. Woolworths too have put some money in, and others are also very pleased with what's going on. I understand the problem with empty shops, but there's good news there too. Let's remember 3 were re-let even before the new centre opened. 4 are under offer in Queen's Road now. There are good offers on Marks & Spencer's old store, and I'm expecting good news on the Co-op store. That is not a bad start.
Nevertheless, though, you've mentioned 2 big stores there that are pleased, but it's many of the small traders are concerned. Aren't you shooting yourself in the foot a little bit? You've got this wonderful new centre, but the town centre itself could be destroyed.
I don't think so, no, that's an exaggeration. What I would say simply is this: there were empty shops in Hastings before Priory Meadow. Something had to be done, and this is the dramatic thing we've done to turn the centre around. Now, there will be an extra £25 million going through the town centre, and we believe there'll be a spin-off into the remainder of the town centre, and we're doing our best to get people involved and to get those shops re-let, and we're actually using chartered surveyors to help us do that.
Now, this is 20 years in the making. It's arrived today. Have you missed the boat a bit, though? Have we all got shopping centre fatigue now? There's a lot of them around already, aren't there?
I don't think so. If you've been here today and you've spoken to people, I can assure you, you'd have realised it was absolutely the right thing to do. People have been fed up going elsewhere. They wanted a centre to be proud of. They've got it, and they're delighted with it.
Now, there are some people who are concerned that the shopping centre was built where it was. Have you got anything to say to them? They're obviously still very bitter about the loss of this cricket ground.
Yes, some are, and I believe they represent a very minority view. I use the argument of a win-win situation. We've got a good shopping centre in the centre of town where it had to be, and everyone's very pleased with it. More people will use that than ever use the old cricket ground, and it's a win situation for the trustees and the cricketers because the council built the new ground at Horntide Park. It's excellent, it's bigger, it's better, it's even above sea level, and there's space for more development. And if the trustees get their lottery money, they will build a sports hall, an all-weather pitch, as well as their pavilions. So it's win-win.
Mr. Carroll, we're out of time, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
How that they had.
What does it say on there? 1 minute, Steve. It tells you 50 pence for an hour. That's not bad, is it?
Too bit later because I didn't listen.
Please use it on the next floor.
Hey? We're just popping upstairs and we'll see you in a minute.
Well, don't lose the run of us because we ain't got a key for the car, have we? I wonder if they do that now or not. You might not be able to get that, Peter. But Pete was saying you might not be able to get those breakfasts now. It's a bit late, isn't it? It says early bird.
Start the faces.
You can't get breakfasts now. There's Sally's daughter.
Oh, it's
Sally that I used to go to. Yeah. Nice school. Great school. So one more.
she got in.
Bags, please. 50 bags for $1.99.
Yeah, better I suppose. Let's have some more bags. Right.
I think I just caught that tuner's whistle.
Yeah, but it's 60 pence cheaper. Oh, I know, you want a blacking, Steve, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crumbling
Yeah.
in the tin.
Yeah, we get a blacking.
Imagine Rhiannon chucking it away because it doesn't make a squeak. Like that.
Watch me.
Yeah. And you squeak.
It's all we want to go now. The first out then.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I'm just making sure I've got that too. They're good, aren't they?
They seem to have got machines on the various levels as you go up.
Ah. We didn't know. Mind you, perhaps it's because you stopped and talked to that chap, you know, we might have gone past it without realising.
So what do you think of the architecture so far?
Wonderful. It's not a bad place, is it? It's nice to have the shops under a roof.
Nice to have it. They should have put my light.
I just hope that some of these empty shops are taken up.
Yeah, it'd be tragic if they stay.
Is
that one up there? Up there selling teas and coffees and all. I don't know whether that'll make it or not, I'm sure, because it's a bit specialised for Hastings to me.
I don't think you want it now, I've got to say. So it's like this, we'll zip up the front. You should look.
So where Andy's disappeared to?
Come on then.
Time to go. See you later now.
See you later.
See you later. Andrew's, you just Andrew, see Andrew, tell him to get out here. So we're going up to the car now.
Yeah, okay.
There's a dildo here.
That's it.